I used to laugh at marketing people all the time, just laugh at them. Like, what a waste. It was almost like black magic, like a black box. Nobody knew how it worked. And today, if you haven't realized, I think most people have, is that we're in the marketing business first, the sales business second. So I love the smarketing word, but marketing is now taking, in my opinion, the lead on selling. Because if you have great marketing, great content, great, as Tim Reister from Corporate Business, preference formation going up online, that means if your marketing can do that, help them solidify what they want, then by the time you pick up the phone, your close rate's going to go up through the roof because they're 90, 95% in. You just have to nudge them across the line. And I tell this story about how, to prove my point, is I was going to buy a drone. So I did my research on these drones. And I finally nailed it down to 3 drones. I said, okay, I'm ready. I budgeted $1,200 for this drone. So I go to Best Buy. Now I'm walking through in the door of Best Buy. My credit card wants to leap out of its pocket, my pocket, right? It's like, say, slide me. I want to buy something. And I'm looking at the drones, the 3 that I got in mind, and this big guy comes over, big guy, 6'6", 6'7", big giant dude comes over, says, can I help you? I said, yeah, I've been wanting to buy a drone. I've noted down these 3, but let me just kind of look at this one more time. Now that I'm seeing them physically, I said, just let me look at this. And he says, well, if you need help, I'll be right over there. So I said, all right. So sure enough, I then, based on size criteria, I decided to go to 2. Finally, I called a giant over. Big guy, come over here. I'm ready. And I said to him, all right, I nailed it down to these 2. Now ready. Remember, I'm ready to buy. Nailed down to these 2. Which one is better and why? Something like that, right? And he's like, well, and then he starts reading the little placards in front of the drones. I said, beyond that, why is one better than the other? And he's like, well, just that one seems to be more popular. And I said, well, why? He goes, just is. And now there's an uncomfortable moment, right? Because he's not helping me. I said, did they train you on these drones? And he said, no. Now it gets more uncomfortable because he's useless to me. And I remember walking out of the store, not buying a drone. That to me is a perfect example. I did all the marketing power. All he had to do was say 1 or 2 things to nudge me over the line, and he would have had my $1,200. And that's the cost of not training your salespeople.
And the old process is sales stop and go, and the new process is sales flow.
The other thing that happened, I think this will be interesting for those who want to listen to it, is that when this pandemic hit, 80% of my business easy was speaking, like live. And so as soon as the pandemic hit, I just got back from Puerto Rico, literally in March. And a week later, they shut down the airports. Everything went down. And everybody pretty much called within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks to say, we're canceling. So nuclear winter for all my speaking gigs. But I had the Sales Velocity Academy. So I had to shift my brain. So, all right, now how do I start marketing the Academy? And how do I begin to do more webinars online with companies? And then how do I begin to do more coaching online? I'm getting to the point that I think by this time next year, I don't know if I want to get on the road anymore because I can do it from here and do just as well. And that's called, that's really, it's taking time to shift that, but I got the long-term view. What we did for like 3 weeks ago, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the first time I've gotten on a plane since March, right? And so what we did is recorded a virtual 2-day workshop or 2-day seminar conference. It's for a company called Plexus, network marketing company. And what we did is that they flew me over there and they put me in a giant, it was a bar/stage that they had, really mocked up nicely, just gorgeous. And basically I did all my lines, introducing people. I got the chance to interview Susie Orman. John Maxwell was there. And we did all these little things. On the green screen, they sent me a bike with their company logo on it. And I shot myself this way to the green screen, riding a bike along the green screen in different angles, right? And what they then did is they overlaid video in the background of me making my way, supposedly, on the bike all the way to Phoenix. And it were being, all this stuff is just creating the creativity that's being unleashed because of our limit in terms of being at the location. Now, what they're doing is just amazing. I think we had 19,000 people subscribed watching this, and it went off without a hitch. It was just exceptional production. And I think that is a new trend. The stigma of staying home. When people used to stay home and work, like, are you really working? Are you really working, right? I think that has gone away now.
Totally.
I think that, it's gone. And I also think another thing has been killed. You know how people used to kind of go to work, even though they were a little sick, and we're like, what a trooper, right? Now we're going to go, why aren't you home? Why don't you stay home? Now, you know what I mean? These little mind shifts that are going on in society are creating this new environment. And I think, 3 to 5 years from now, we're going to look back and go, oh, now I see the seismic shifts.
You replicate life in a richer and more engaging way that fascinates people, that makes people think and respond and engage and buy.
That's what's happening right now. It is this effort that people are exerting to come out of their cocoon, which is their way of doing things, into this new world that's more virtual than ever before. And how do you integrate all that without feeling like you're overwhelmed?
It requires a mindset shift from the cocoon to the butterfly.
How we used to do business pre-COVID is gone. By the way, there's no new normal. There's no new next. There's just now. It's different. And so I think, people have to go, and people will go through it at different rates. Some will accept it faster than others.
That brings up another, mindset sort of lesson, which is that we live in 3 time zones simultaneously. And I can compare it to video channels. There's the History Channel, there's CNN, and there's sci-fi. So people can either focus on their past, and have a choice between past negatives and past positives. They can focus on the present, negatives and positives, and they can focus on the future. And some people cast themselves into a negative future or a positive future. So we have 6 choices, but the 3 main choices are: what do you want to be in the History Channel, in the CNN, or in the future? And my recommendation is to be in the here and now, be in the present moment, and focus on the opportunities that the present moment presents to us, and not mourning the positive past or not reviving the negative past.
There's now this chasm created by COVID. We'll call it the COVID chasm. I just came up with that. I'm using it, right? The COVID chasm. And the COVID chasm is going to have 2 types of salespeople: those who stay on the other side of the COVID chasm, and those who actually jump over the COVID chasm and say, this is where we are now. This is how we have to do it. And I think there's going to be 2 types of salespeople out there. And I'm hoping that those who are a little older will embrace technology. That's what I'm hoping. Because I think, for me, as I get older, I'm like, I don't want to be the old guy in the room going, that's not how we used to sell. It's interesting how Joseph Schumpeter, who came up with the phrase creative destruction, always talked about inserting a piece of technology, or that's how he really meant it, something that came into the system. But this is something that's not a piece of technology. This is like a virus, a pandemic, and how that's causing us to rearrange how we do business. And I think at the end of all this, Gerhard, I think we're going to be that much more efficient.
High five on that one.
Bam, high five on that.
For anybody who would like to learn more, go to victorantonio.com.